Hello, drawing one. This is our last assignment we're going to be doing in here, and you guys are going to be drawing a human eye. And hopefully you watch the PowerPoint of, the kind of photograph that you need to find, etc. So anyways, I chose this one. I just typed in black and white photography, got an eye, printed it off, and you guys, I want you to draw on this Bristol paper. It was provided in the Commons area. It should be 9 inches by 12 inches is what the dimensions are on the paper. And some of them, like I ran out of the 9 by 12 and I had some larger pieces that are a little bit larger. And I just took one of those, I cut off the excess so it's 9 by 12. I don't want you guys to go any bigger than you really have to. And what I like about this paper, it's very, very smooth. And it allows for a lot of erasing. Especially when you're trying to figure out your proportions at the very beginning. And if you didn't grab this paper, any kind of paper would do with this, but this is what I technically prefer. Okay, let's get this started. Alright, let's start with drawing the eye. I want to get this eye as big as I possibly can onto my piece of paper. And as I talked about in the PowerPoint, and all an eye is a sphere with this cloth that's covering around it, which is the skin. And when I start an eye, first thing I like to do is just start with that sphere. And I'm trying to imagine how big it's going to be, getting most of the paper as I possibly can. And this eye does not have an eyebrow. Some of you, if you have an eyebrow or like other features that are slightly showing in with this, your eye will probably be a little bit smaller. But here's my sphere. It's taking up a good portion of the paper. Okay, once I kind of get that sphere in, I'm going to think about that skin. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to... Let's fold this so we can see both at the same time. Alright, so remember, when you have a curve, you treat a curve as a series of straight lines. So I'm coming in, I see this lid that's overlapping on the sphere here. I'm not thinking of it as a curve. I'm thinking this as a series of straight lines. Like especially right here, there's a huge change in angle where we enter into this tear duct right here. Okay, and it looks like this eye kind of curves in quickly right over here because they're looking off to one direction. Okay, so we're almost getting the shape right there. And usually, like here's the crease of the eye, it usually follows that little sphere. Not always, but usually. Okay, it comes up. Again, see how I'm treating it as straight lines, not as a curve. And we're going to go through all of those things that we talked about. Alright, so the skin. We talked about how thick the skin is at the very bottom. Those eyelashes grow at the bottom. And I would suggest don't do those eyelashes till the end. Once I kind of get an idea of where I'm going with this, I can start cleaning up my lines. But right now, I'm kind of sketching in my proportions. I'll probably be erasing some, excessive lines maybe I don't really want before I start getting into the shading. I'm looking at the tear duct here. I wish I knew all the names, the weird names that happen in the tear duct, but I don't. Okay, there's my tear duct. And I also talked about the thickness of the eye. My eye, I can see that thickness of the skin between the eye and the eyelashes. Most of you won't when you look at your eye. That usually the eyelashes kind of cover it up enough that you can't see it. But in my case, I can see that thickness. So we're going to put that in. Let's see. I'm guessing right now where that is. And I might have to change this as I'm going along. And it kind of slenders out right here into a fine point almost. Okay, so I got my thickness of eye. I'm not going to worry about eyelashes. I'm just going to pretend they're not here right now. Now I'm going to put in the iris. You're not going to see in an eye, some people make the iris too small and it looks like the person's surprised. You know, like this person has a very relaxed eye right now, and we only see partial of the iris. Might see the full bottom right here. Okay, and here we have the pupil. Okay, highlights. This highlight on this eye is a little bit tricky, and I got a couple of highlights happening. I got a little one right here that's happening in the tear duct. I'm going to draw these highlights in. I'm one of those people that forget about them, and I just start obsessively starting to shade, and I forget about them. So I'm going to draw those in. And like this eye highlight is a bit more complicated than a lot of others. Some cool things I'm noticing is I can see the reflections of the eyelashes right here. That's really awesome. Let's see. But I want the highlight to be the white of the paper. Let's see. I got a lot of confusing shapes happening, but I'm going to do my best trying to get them. Okay, so I think I kind of got the proportions down now. I remember when I was in high school and my teacher made us do this, it took me, I think 2 hours to get the proportions. And you know, I've done this for so long. Like the more you do it, the faster you get. And okay, I got this crease right over here. Alright, so I basically got my proportions down. I'm going to start erasing those excessive lines that I really did. You know, I just started off with just to try to get the shape. And we can start shading. Alright. When you start shading, it doesn't matter where you start. I like to start with my darkest values first, so that would be like the pupil, and then I move my way out. And we're going to work on, you know, different textures of like how to get the iris or how to get eyelashes, and just other little things to watch out as you guys are going.